Another live look at Kyiv, Ukraine. President Biden putting financial sanctions on Russia. But tonight, the consensus seems to be it won't stop Vladimir Putin from doing whatever he wants in Ukraine. The White House saying Putin doesn't just want to take over Ukraine. He wants to take out the people opposing him in the country. They're calling it a kill list for obvious reasons. And it's said to include journalists, activists, as well as ethnic and religious minorities. So who's on Putin's personal list? Let's ask former CIA covert operative Mike Baker. So what do you make of this, Mike? This list of people he wants dead, is this, you think, designed to just make us realize how serious this is, or is it real?
Well, no, it's real. Look, any dictator, anybody like Putin, has an enemies list, and Putin has just shown his willingness over the years to act on it, and he's crossed borders on many occasions, whether we're talking about Litvinenko or anyone else, to reach out and terminate those that oppose him in a vocal and embarrassing in his mind way. So that the idea that over the years, look, we have to remember this conflict has been going on since 2014, essentially, and thousands of people have died. This has been it's the unfortunate reality that obviously everyone sort of has a short attention span. So over the years, occasionally we thought about what's going on in the Donbass region and Russia's involvement there, but it's never left Putin's mind, right? This has been building and building and building, and so yes, he's got a playbook. That if they were to go in there and have access to certain individuals, I'm sure it's just he's got a track record for this.
Yeah, what is it with him, Mike? I mean, why is he doing this and why now? As you said, this has been going on for a long time, but I guess my question is, do you think he is really trying to sort of reunite the old Soviet Union?
Well, he definitely wants a buffer zone. Right? However you refer to it, and he has referred to it in very explicit terms over the years, and in speeches he's talked about, the greatest tragedy of the 20th century was the collapse of the Soviet Union. That were his words. I mean, and he has talked about rebuilding it in some fashion, and so what does he want? Well, he wants a buffer zone, right? Is the Donbass region, are these two supposedly so-called independent states now? Is that sufficient for him in his mind? Well, it possibly could be. But the problem is, look, trying to read the plans and intentions and motivations of a world leader, particularly somebody like Putin, is very difficult unless you've got incredibly good intel sources who can tell you those things. And that rarely happens. So at times, I hate to say this, and it's very unsatisfying, but at times you're flying blind. You're gathering intel from every other source, SIGINT communications, and whatever you might be able to gather to try to do that. What you're after is this big question: plans and intentions. What are they?
Yeah.
And frankly, it doesn't seem like this administration, the White House currently, has had a real good lock on that.
Well, they released a lot of intel, Mike, that surprised people on the way in. In fact, in the beginning, we were all kind of questioning it. Do you think all of this is going to happen? And much of what they laid out has, in fact, happened. Do you think there is going to be as much intel that will be as accurate moving forward? In other words, I guess, do you think he is really going to expand and try to go into Kyiv and take all of Ukraine?
Well, look, it's again, I think it's a losing game to try to forecast what's going to happen next. Yeah. I've felt all along that his goal here was to get some wins without sort of what we think of as a major military campaign, right? And so these half measures. This is actually, if you step back and think about what Putin's done here, it's been strategically, it's been very clever. Right. And it's in a way, it kind of fits in with Putin's mindset to go ahead now and make this statement about we recognize the independence of these states. Now we're sending in the peacekeepers. Right. Mm-hmm. That now. But going beyond that, look, we've done this sanctions now today. And would Putin look at those sanctions in anybody's mind and think to himself, yeah, that's troublesome. I'm going to stop now. I don't think so. The concern here is, what do we do after that? If he does expand from where he is, fine. We've dropped some sanctions on him, and that's going to cause some pain. But if he continues this, if he does decide that that's not enough of a region for him and he's going to just take the entire country, what are we going to do? President Biden made a very interesting but not recognized comment during his speech today where he said, we are going to defend every inch of NATO. Ukraine's not in NATO. So I guarantee you, as soon as he said that, the Russian leadership was staring and trying to parse that and think, what does that mean?
All right. Well, Mike Baker, former covert CIA operative and host of Discovery Network's Black Files Declassified. It's always good to have you, Mike. Thanks for the time.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.